What is up, guys? TopTierYugioh here, and today I've got a Tri-Brigade combo guide for the current format. And so this video is going to be focusing on the Destiny Hero Enforcer build, and a lot of the combos are going to end with, or at least have the option to end with, Destiny Hero Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. We all love DPE, and so we're going to have a lot of DPE combos. And if you're interested in the deck list, I will put a link to the deck profile in the description and everywhere else, but I'm making this video because when I started learning and playing with this deck, there were not a lot of good combo videos out with DPE. A lot of the videos were still ending on like Apollousa plus Revolt, which isn't bad. Apollousa Revolt is still really good and those combos all still work, but I do think it's a little less than ideal right now due to how easy it is to out in Apollousa. Like, all you're gonna need is a single imperm, a single droplets, a chalice, a triple tack. There's so many ways to out or play through Apollousa right now that I feel like depending on the matchup, DPE is just generally better to go into. And then plus it's, you know, a quick effect versus a trigger effect that makes it more versatile. It gives you recursion with like it coming back every single turn. It gives you follow-up plays by dumping Celestial. It's kind of an extender by dumping Dasher. And so I just think that overall, the DPE engine is pretty good in pure Tri-Brigades. Well, if you still want to call it pure. But regardless of what we call it, I definitely enjoy this build a lot, and I think you guys are going to love it too. And so let's go ahead and get into these combos. Alright, so for this first combo, we're going to be ending with Anaconda, DPE, and Revolt. And so we're going to have two disruptions, one being the Enforcer pop, the other being Revolt, which can get us to an Omen for a non-targeting banish. So we have two disruptions as well as the follow-up that we get from the Nervall search, as well as the Celestial draws potentially on our next turn. And so we're going to have a ton of follow-up, two disruptions, and then we're probably going to be able to OTK the opponent on the next turn whenever this resolves. And so let's go ahead and get into the combo. All we're going to need to do this is a single copy of Rescue Cat. Let's get started. So once again, all we're going to need for this combo is a single copy of Rescue Cat. And so we're going to start just by normal summoning it and activating the effect. That's going to allow us to summon two level 3 or lower beasts from our deck. And then in the Tri-Brigade engine, that gives us either Kerass or Kitt that we can summon. Both of those are level 2 beast. We can summon any number of them that we want depending on what's left in your deck. But if you're going first blind, I generally like to summon one Kerass, one Kitt. That way you still have a Kerass left in deck. Because you don't want to summon two Kerass, they both get used up. You don't have anything to search. You don't want to use two Kitt and then only have that one Kitt left in deck. And so I personally like one Kitt, one Kerass. And so we're going to summon one of each. And then both of their effects are negated, so we can't do anything with them on the field. But we can go ahead and link them off. And then go into a Blossom. And then this is going to trigger their graveyard effects. Or Kitt's graveyard effect, at least. So Kitt's effect is going to dump a Nervall to the graveyard. Nervall's effect triggers. We're going to use that to add any Tri-Brigade monster from our deck to our hand. It doesn't matter what, but preferably something that you don't already have in your hand. And so if you already have a Kerass in your hand, don't search a second Kerass, search something else, but it doesn't really matter. And so for the sake of this example, we're just going to search a Fraktall. Next, what we're going to do is activate Blossom's effect, special summon whatever we just searched. So special summon the Fraktall. Now we're going to activate Fraktall's effect to banish two of our Winged Beast Warriors from our graveyard. Doesn't matter which two. And then special summon a Link 2 from the extra deck. And so now from here, for the old Apollousa combo, you would just link these into an Apollousa, trigger Bear, and then search your Revolt. Which again, works in some matchups. It works if you have a hand that sort of facilitates that. Like let's say you just hard drew your Fusion Destiny. That'd be cool. But if you didn't, what you could always do is link your Blossom and your Fraktall, or whatever, Tri-Brigade you summoned, into a Anaconda. And then now we can use Anaconda's effect. We can send our Destiny Hero cards to the graveyard, summon out Enforcer, and now we can use Enforcer's effect to pop the bear as well as itself, and then trigger both of their effects. And then, oh, you can also chain block bear as well like that. So if you don't want to get your bear ashed, you can chain block like that. But if they had an Ash Blossom, they would have ashed your Rescue Cat anyways, but just something to keep in mind. So activating Enforcer and Bear effect, that's going to allow you to search your Revolt, put it back, or put something else back. So now you've got Revolt live, and then in the next standby phase, Enforcer comes back. And so this is how a single Rescue Cat gets us to Enforcer plus Revolt and Anaconda, which does nothing, but it's something we can destroy if we want to. But that is it for this first combo. Let's get into some others. Before continuing, I do want to mention some of the summoning restrictions that we have with this deck, and it's something that you're going to see throughout all of the combos both in this video, and you're going to experience from playing the deck yourself, but these three cards offer the heaviest restrictions. And so with Bear, after you use the effect to search a Tri-Brigade spell or trap, usually Revolt, you're not going to be able to special summon for the rest of the turn except for Tri-Brigade monsters. With Anaconda, after you use the effect, you're not going to be able to special summon monsters at all. Then after resolving Fusion Destiny, you're not going to be able to special summon anything except for Dark Heroes, which is nothing in this deck. And so you have to really sequence your plays around these three restrictions, and you're going to see very similar patterns such as the one in that last combo to where we summoned DPE first and then popped, or not summoned it first, but we summoned it and then popped the Bear to search. That way we weren't locked into Bear's effect and not being able to summon DPE at all. You're also going to notice that we typically don't link away the Bear during the combos because we can't use that effect of linking it away. Like, we can't link it away then use the effect, because if we were to link Bear into Anaconda and then search a Revolt, now we can't use Anaconda's effect. So we don't do that play very much either. That sort of affects how we sequence our plays and how we string these combos together, because as we add more and more, we're starting with just one Rescue Cat. As we end up with more cards like Rescue Cat plus Fraktall plus Kitt and stuff like that, you need to know how to sequence these plays, and these are the major restrictions that you're going to be facing and looking at. As well as just playing around hand traps, which I might have time to get into this video, maybe not, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Moving on to the next combo, we're also going to be able to end on Enforcer plus Revolt. All we're going to need for this is any two Tri-Brigade monsters. Any two combinations of your main 4 Tri-Brigades get you to this field. The only thing that doesn't work is like Kitt plus Nervall, and obviously like no duplicates of anything. So like Fraktall doesn't do anything special, but like Fraktall Kitt, Fraktall Nervall, Fraktall Kerass, or Kerass Fraktall, Kerass Kitt, or Kerass Nervall are all full combo into this board, but again, just not Kitt Nervall and not duplicates of like either Kitt or Nervall. These are the main two ones that you can't have with anything else, simply because they're both normal summons, and so that's kind of what it boils down to. But I'm just going to go through each and every combination of them and show you how we can get to this final board, because it isn't the same for each one. There are slight differences that you want to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. Alright, so first I'm going to show you the plays that start with Fraktall, and so we're going to start first with let's say Fraktall and Kerass. So these will be our starting plays. We're going to end on, once again, DPE plus Revolt. And so the way all of the Fraktall plays work is you start by using Fraktall's effect. So Fraktall effect, use that to dump Nervall, and then Nervall can search any other Tri-Brigade monster, preferably one you haven't used. So we'll search Kitt. And so our hand will be Kerass Kitt at this point. So from here, we can summon Kitt, activate the effect, or really we don't have to summon Kitt, we can summon either one, but it doesn't matter and you'll see why. We can summon one, activate the effect by banishing the 2 in our graveyard, using that to summon a Blossom. Then we use Blossom's effect to summon the other one from our hand. This is the main way that all of the Fraktall plays work. They all will essentially start like this. And then from here, you link away the one that you've used the effect for and the Blossom. So we haven't used Kerass effect yet, so we're going to link away Kitt and Blossom into our Anaconda. And then now that we have 2 Beast Warriors in the grave, we can banish, getting ahead of myself. We can also trigger both of their graveyard effects because we linked them away. And so if, let's say, you had a Dasher or other brick in your hand, or just something you don't want in your hand, you could shuffle it back into the deck, draw and shuffle back. Or you could use Kitt's effect to fill your grave with more Beast Warrior, Wing Beast for the future. Up to you, but neither are necessary for this combo. But, you know, if you're in a game, use the effects. But from here, we're going to use Kerass's effect. And so we summon Anaconda. We're not going to use the effect yet because that's going to lock us out of special summoning afterwards. We haven't gotten to the rest of our Tri-Brigade stuff yet. So before that, we're going to use Kerass, banish our 2 monsters from the graveyard, and then summon a Bear. Also, be careful of your zones. Don't do this, like, summon your Kerass anywhere else. But from here, use Anaconda to send your hero stuff to the graveyard. That's going to allow you to summon your DPE. You can summon anywhere, I guess. So I guess actually the zones don't matter, but they do matter for some combos, I guess, just not this one. But summon your DPE, and then now you can use DPE's effect to pop Bear and anything else. You could pop Kerass and Bear if you want to clear Kerass off of your board. You could pop itself in Bear. Up to you. Again, this would help you chain block the Bear, but if they had an Ash, they would have used it on your Fraktall or your Nervall or something, but you do have that option. So you just pop some combination of cards, including your Bear, then trigger Bear's effect to add your Revolt, and that's it. Alright, so for the previous combo, all we're going to need is Fraktall plus any other Tri-Brigade. We used Kerass as the example, and it lets you end on Anaconda, DPE plus Revolt. And again, that works with any Tri-Brigade monster, whether it be Kerass, Nervall, or Kitt. Any of them all work exactly the same. So next I'm going to show you some of the Kerass combos. And so Kerass combos do work a little bit differently. We've already seen Kerass plus Fraktall, that's just the Fraktall play. But Kerass works differently with both Kitt and Nervall. And so let's go ahead and start with the Kerass plus Kitt combo. Alright, so for this combo, we're going to be starting off with Kerass plus Kitt. And the way we're going to start it is by activating Kerass's effect, sending Kitt to the graveyard to special summon itself. That's going to trigger Kitt's effect to send Nervall to the graveyard. Then we can use Nervall's effect to add any Tri-Brigade to our hand. Just not Kerass, because we're going to be using Kerass's own field effect. So let's just get a Fraktall for sake of example. Now we're going to activate Kerass's effect, banish the 2 in our graveyard, special summon a Blossom from the extra deck. Now we're going to be activating Blossom's effect, special summon the Tri-Brigade from our hand. And then now it looks pretty similar from here, so now we link away the Kerass and the Blossom, whose effects we've already used. Link both of those into an Anaconda, Fraktall's effect, banish those 2 from the graveyard, summon out our Bear, Anaconda effect, send our Tri-Brigade, or not Tri-Brigade, but our D-Hero package to the graveyard, and summon out Enforcer. Then from here, Enforcer's effect, pop 2 cards on your side of the field, including the Bear, doesn't matter what else, and that gets us to our Revolt. And so this sets up our main in board of, again, Anaconda, DPE plus Revolt. The next combo is going to be Kerass plus Nervall, and it's going to start the exact same way, by activating Kerass's effect in hand, by discarding the Nervall, summon itself, trigger Nervall's effect to add another Tri-Brigade from our deck to our hand. But one thing that's going to be a little bit different here is that we only have 1 Tri-Brigade in our graveyard, and so after this effect resolves, we just can't use our Kerass's effect to summon out something from the extra deck, so we have to make our plays a little bit differently. So like, for example, if we search the Kitt, like this Kitt does nothing. We don't want to just summon it and link our stuff away, because there's nothing we can send with Kitt, but also we don't have anything to summon from hand after that. And so the way this best plays out is to still search a Fraktall, and then with the Fraktall we can use this to fill our graveyard up. And so we can activate Fraktall's effect to send itself, or not send itself, but discard it to dump Kitt, then trigger Kitt's effect to send another Tri-Brigade from our deck to our graveyard, so let's say a second Fraktall. And then now we can use Kerass's effect to banish all 4 of them, and then summon out an Omen. Now from here, we can link the Omen and the Kerass into a Blossom. And because we have those 4 banished for the summon of Omen, now we can trigger Omen's graveyard effect to search another Beast Boy, or Winged Beast from our deck. And so we just want to search something whose effect we haven't used. So we don't want to search a Kerass, we can search like, I don't know, a Kitt. So then from here, we can activate, or I guess we haven't even normal summoned yet. So we could either normal summon the Kitt, or we could special summon it with Blossom's effect. Either way, it just depends on the rest of your hand, but you just summon it somehow. And then you activate the effect, so banish 2, so the Omen and the Kerass. That summons out your, don't summon it here, by the way, anywhere else, but we use the effect to summon out the Bear. And now from here, it's very, very similar. We link these into our Anaconda, and then Anaconda is going to summon Enforcer. Enforcer pop the Bear and something else on the field, and then that gets us to the Revolt. And so the main thing here is just, the main difference I should say, is that we don't have as many Tri-Brigade monsters to start off with, because we're starting with the Nervall, which forces us to search the Fraktall. Fraktall can then fill our graveyard up to get us to Omen, which can search us more gas for our plays. Okay, so next I do want to show you guys what you can do if you do open up Kitt plus Nervall. It's not the best play. You're not going to be able to end on our standard board of DPE plus Revolt, but you're going to open up hands like this. You got to know what to do with them. And so the way this play works is you start by normal summoning either one of them, let's say Kitt, and then you just link it away into a Almirage. And then that's going to allow you to trigger Kitt's effect. With that, you can dump Nervall and get a search. So you dump Nervall, and then Nervall searches you a Kerass to get you to your second summon. Because in this deck, you pretty much only have two lines of play. You got your normal summon, and then you've got your Kerass special summon. You got to use your normal summon to get to your second sometimes. And that's what makes this play ideal. You're not starting off with two lines of play, you're using one to get to the other. And so from here, what we do is summon our Kerass by discarding whatever other normal summon Tri-Brigades in our hand, in this case the Nervall, and now we use Kerass's effect. And so it gets tricky here because we don't have the gas to really continue on much after this. So what we want to do in terms of our end board will determine what we do with this summon. And so we're going to be banishing two regardless. And then with that, we could either summon a Blossom, and then with the Blossom, we could link into Anaconda and then go DPE. Or what you could do instead is you could, with the Kerass, summon a copy of Bear, and then you can link the Bear and the Kerass into, let's see, where is it? Into Rugal, and then that's going to trigger the Bear's effect, which allows you to search your Revolt. And so when you have those subpar hands like Kitt plus Nervall or Kitt, something like that, Nervall, you're only going to be able to end on not both DPE and Revolt, just one or the other, and you're going to have to choose which one's going to be better in that situation. And so it's going to depend on your hand and the matchup. And so not the best combo, but it's something that you got to know as a Tri-Brigade player. And so I do want to show you guys just one more bad combo before wrapping up. It's not like a bad combo, but again, it's something that you just kind of have to know. And that's going to be what you do with just a single copy of Fraktall. And it ends in a very similar board, and it plays out a very similar way. Once again, you only have two lines of play. You got your normal summon and your Kerass special summon. If we only have one Fraktall, it's only going to get us to one of those things. And it's likely going to be that normal summon. And so if you only have that normal summon, that one line of play, you're not getting the full combo. And so the way this combo works is you start by activating your Fraktall's effect, use that to dump your Nervall. Nervall can search Kitt, you normal summon Kitt, and then you're at that same place you were in that last combo. You banish your two, and you can either summon your Blossom if you want to go into, let's say, an Anaconda play, or you could summon Bear if you want to go Rugal. And also the reason we do it that way, like you could just summon Bear and then go Anaconda, but then it's kind of redundant because Bear's going to lock you out of using Anaconda's effect if you use the effect to search Revolt. So why do that when you could just go Blossom instead? And then in that same sense, you could also link these two into a Rugal. But why do that? You're not getting Revolt or DPE in that case. And so that's why the options are kind of set up in that way. But the other thing I want to mention about Rugal as well is it does give you more of a follow-up play, because while you do have the Revolt, and Revolt's always going to trigger a Nervall for you, having the Rugal allows you to still special summon something from the graveyard. If your opponent can't clear it, you add it back to your hand. In worst case scenario, it's another chump blocker to keep you from getting killed. And so that's an option. So that's something else to think about. But the other thing is that when going into Anaconda and DPE, you're being able to send Celestial to the graveyard. And so if your hand is that bad, Celestial on your next turn can maybe get you to 2 more cards and allow you to play next turn if you survive, if the rest of your hand is sufficient for survival. And so that's something to keep in mind as well. But pretty much those are the bad plays that this deck can make. Most combinations of hands will get you to the main combo, because again, all we need to end on DPE plus Revolt is a single copy of Rescue Cat, and then after that, any 2 Tri-Brigade monsters, it doesn't matter which ones, as long as it is not Kitt plus Nervall. I'd like to also add that having more Tri-Brigade monsters just helps even more. It just adds to your board. Or having Cat plus Kerass or Cat plus any of these. Again, it adds to your board and it helps you play around hand traps a little bit differently. And that's something I want to mention in the next combo video. I'm not going to have time in this one, but in the next one, I want to show you guys how you can play around cards like Nib or Ash or Valor, Imperm, stuff like that. And how you can prepare to play in different matchups. Like how are you playing against Sword Soul? How are you playing against like Bird Up, where you have to go against Robin and they can bounce everything? That's really difficult and tricky. And so there's a lot of different combinations of Tri-Brigade monsters and engine cards that get you to different boards. They all help, but this is just the bare basics that you're gonna need. After this, it's money time. And now the final thing that I want to mention in this video is just I just want to point out that we didn't use Bear's Effect in any of them. And Bear's Effect is actually really good. If you have those 2 other cards to discard, you can special summon a Beast Warrior, Winged Beast from your banished zone, and that allows you to extend your plays. But the reason I didn't show it off in any of these combos is, for one, I just wanted to focus on what was in hand, not focus on having a bunch of extra stuff as well, because it just further complicates it. But also, it often just isn't correct anyways in live games, because it just plays harder into Nib. It just plays harder in the cards like Valor or Imperm. It plays harder into every single hand trap. It forces you to overextend into the board so that if your board gets broken, you literally just hard lose. Because if you're discarding 2 cards, what other hand traps are you having? And so it's typically incorrect to do that anyways. But also, due to how the deck is constructed, it just isn't worth it. Like, you're not going to have enough gas in your graveyard to keep going unless you start it with a Rescue Cat, or if you draw perfectly. And then you also won't have 2 cards to discard once again, because you have to discard 2, and if you're going to be resolving the effect of Search Revolt, you need a 3rd card to put back into your deck. And so that means you have to have a 2-card combo and then not have any form of like hand trap or Called by the Grave, anything like that. And so it's very difficult to be able to safely resolve Bear's on field effect. And so that's something to keep in mind. You have the option, if you really want to just go balls to the walls, go in, you can do it, but make sure you're not overextending into the board. Make sure you're not playing into a Nib. Make sure that you're not just going to lose off of that decision, because even if you're past the choke point, you never know when your opponent's going to drop something like that. So be careful. It's something we can cover in a later video if you guys want, but I want to stay away from that in this one. But those are the main combos, guys. I really appreciate those of you who took the time to watch this video. I hope it's going to help a lot of people, just as I know it would have helped me if I was new to the deck. And so let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next video. I am going to be showing off more Tri-Brigade combos. I want to show you guys how to play through hand traps once again. Super excited to make that, but really just excited to be making videos again in general. And so again, thank you guys. Thank you to everyone who took the time to watch this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.